Hello and welcome to Her Story Women in Loyalism. My name is Sonia and today I have the pleasure of one of our Her Story members, Chelsea. Hello, Chelsea.
Hello, Sonia. How are you this morning?
I'm doing not too bad, Chelsea. It's lovely to have you in here today because you had asked for us to talk about a subject that you have problems with and probably quite a few people have problems with, and that is mental health. Can you explain to me how this made you feel and how you were able to get help?
Back in 2016, 2017, I started to have anxiety. I didn't know exactly what that was. I was feeling very anxious, very like not myself. And then I went to the doctors. The doctor told me it was anxiety. And I was just sitting there going, I've never ever had that before. But the doctor explained to me it's something that that a lot of people has, and you don't get it overnight. It's something that just happens.
Is it sort of like a build up of things, Chelsea? Did you find, was there stress in your life at the time whenever this started, or did it just come out of the blue?
It was all because of a really bad relationship. The guy wasn't nice at all. And then we broke up back in 2019. I went with somebody else, and he was all right, but then he was messing with my head and all that. After we broke up, I just didn't feel like I wanted to eat. I just felt like I wanted to end my whole entire life.
That must have been an awful feeling for you, Chelsea, because you're thinking of something like that and you can't understand why this is making you feel like that. Did you find that any medication that the doctors gave you, did that help?
I was on a medication for anxiety, but it wasn't long term. And then back in 2019, then I started having depression. The doctor then gave me a long term medication called fluoxetine. I started going on to a 20 milligram. Back in 2021, then I started boosting up to a 30. Now I'm on a 40 milligram. I think the 40 milligram is far better because I feel more happier. I feel better whenever I'm with my friends, and especially I'm part of the Lodge, Daughters of Dariata. A fantastic bunch of women. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And they are not just my sisters, they are family.
That's fantastic, Chelsea. I know that anxiety and depression makes people not want to interact with others. You know, it makes them not want to socialise. But you are putting yourself out there to help your mental health by speaking to other people. Did you find in any of the tablets that sometimes there would be side effects? Would you have had any side effects from the medication?
No, I felt like once I started taking them, I felt okay, but I am feeling absolutely 100% now. Sometimes I forget the odd time to take one, but I know for a fact my anxiety and depression is still there, but it's the medication that boosts my mood up, and that's the best thing.
Do you think this will be long term for you, this medication, or is it just for a certain amount of time? Now that your life seems to be balanced because of the tablets, would you be able to sort of wean yourself off them at some stage, do you think?
I have tried that before uh, to wheeze off my medication, and within 2 months of doing that, I was bad as ever again. It was worse. I wanted to, I just did not want to be here whatsoever. And then I told my parents about it. My mum says, "Are you taking your medication?" I said, "I'm trying to come off it and see if I can." Mum said, "It's up to the doctors to tell you when and when not to come off your medication." So for anybody that's on long-term medication, please stay on your medications unless the doctor tells you so to come off.
Do you think, is there maybe any other alternatives to medication? Is there any places that you can go for relaxation, meditation, well-being in yourself?
The way I would normally do it is I would listen to maybe relaxing music with a little chime, or maybe waterfalls, because I love waterfalls. I would listen to that before bed, and I would fall asleep with my headphones in, and then my mum would be coming into the room saying, "Oh, her again with them headphones on. I wonder what she's listening to." And I used to have a wee Alexa beside my bed, and I used to fall asleep with the waterfalls or sound of dolphins or butterflies.
That actually sounds very good and very relaxing. I know people too, Chelsea, when they go through anxiety and depression, could sometimes suffer from panic attacks. Did you have any of those feelings?
Yes, there was one day at work. I was working, I was feeling absolutely fine, and then the next minute I wasn't feeling like myself. I was feeling anxious. I went out during my break for a walk. Whenever I came back, I just said to the general manager I wasn't feeling too good. He told me to ring my mum. My mum came, and I was crying, I was panicking. I was in a real bad state. Whenever my mum came, she looked at me and said, "I've never seen you this bad before." And the general manager actually said to me, because it was a very busy environment, he said that he would see me more in a quieter environment, like a cafe or something like that, because the Remora is very complex and it's very busy.
You talked about going out for a walk as well too, Chelsea. People do say go out for a walk, breathe in the fresh air, try and take a load off your mind. Basically, did you find that walking and being outside helped you?
Yes, and now I walk dogs for people, and I just love animals. Whenever I'm with everyone else's dogs, I don't even have a dog of my own, but I feel like there's a part of me that's saying, this is something I want to do, and I have took it up as a wee job for myself, and it's just amazing how dog walking makes me feel, because walking somebody else's dog makes you feel like you're walking your own, but it's not your own dog.
But animals are such comfort to people, anybody who are animal lovers at all, can understand how much joy they can bring into your life, and how they can help you. Did you find, Chelsea, when you were talking to people about your anxiety and your mental health, that they were able to understand you? Anybody that has never suffered from that, do they understand? Or do you feel that some people might be, "Oh, pull yourself together, get over it," how do you cope with that, by trying to make people understand how you're feeling?
Whenever I was walking to the beach one day, and I just didn't feel like myself, and this man came over and asked me if I was okay. I says, "I suffer a little bit from anxiety." He says, "Only what you have to remember is there's people here that can help you, but some people can look at me and go, pull yourself together, it's just a feeling." But we all have feelings, and some people feels that they're alone, and especially men. Men doesn't talk about their mental health because they feel like uh, they're they're very sensitive about the way that other people's gonna react. Men feels that they're stronger, that they can actually get through it themselves. But please, 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 please talk to somebody. And there is obviously people out there that can actually help.
Do you find, Chelsea, that there's enough out there for people with mental health, or would you like to see maybe a community having a night where somebody like yourself comes along and discusses it so other people can understand?
There isn't a lot of places for people with mental health, and it's awful because people are suffering, and there are some people out there that suffering in silence. They don't want to feel that that they can talk to somebody, and there are people out there that can actually help. And some people's like, I don't need help. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling fine. And then the next minute, they do something. I've lost a friend very close to me with depression. It was awful. It really affected me so much because we were very, very close.
I know, and you're thinking to yourself, because you were so close, that why did this person not speak to me about this? You know, but as you says, there's a lot of people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people think that they'll look at you as if you've got a weakness, but it's not a weakness. You know, as it's something that affects everybody, and it's just something that can happen. Do you find that there would be places or situations that you would be in that maybe would trigger that? Do you talk yourself out of feeling bad and talk yourself into feeling good?
Whenever I do feel a bit of anxiety, I say to myself, it's okay, because it's okay not to be okay. And then I just put the music on, and sometimes I'm stuck in my head. I listen to sad songs, sad music, and all of that. And sometimes you just have to put on the club music and dance a little. So
That sounds very good. Now you just having a wee boogie around your bedroom would be great, wouldn't it?
yeah,
But I know sometimes everybody likes to listen to a sad song, but then if it's going to affect you mentally, it's better, as you say, get the boogies on, get the tunes on, you know, have a wee dance to yourself, have a smile, you know. But I'm sure some days it's hard even just to leave the house to be able to talk to people. I've known you now since you started in HERstory, and also through our Orange Lodge, and I have noticed a big difference in you. You know, you really are starting to come out of yourself. You're starting to feel more confident. Do you feel then that having a group of people about you helps?
absolutely. It's always good to check on your friends, especially whenever times are tough. Especially back when COVID hit, it was a big impact on everybody, especially around the world. There was a lot of people, you know, that was suffering from anxiety and depression. You couldn't even get out to check on them, but I was always on my phone checking up my friends. Are you okay? If you need anything, just let me know. But it was awful.
Yeah, I think the isolation of COVID affected everybody, and people that maybe thought they were strong minded realised that they weren't. But it can be everyday things, and especially something as big as that, the pandemic, you know, it just was something that we all had to try and cope with, but it was very hard to cope with. Do you have any exercises or anything, Chelsea, that you would do, you know, breathing exercise or things that help you?
No, just music. Music has always been my therapy since I was a little girl. I always listen to music. in the car. My mum used to put the Finger Boys on, and I used to say, "Put my CD on," but it was my mum's. And then, of course, I had to claim it. And then my mum would put the CD on, and there would be me in the back seat dancing or maybe singing. And I've always wanted to be a singer, but that never happened. And because my mum used to work for the elderly in home care, I said to her, I said, I want to be a home care worker as well, because I love helping people. But now, because I have mental health, I'm helping others with this and what we're doing today.
That's very good, Chelsea, you know, because we are getting something like this out there. I think even though mental health has been discussed on the news and everywhere, there's still a bit of a stigma attached to it. Do you feel that way now as well?
Sometimes I feel that down my worst days that no one actually cares, but that's not the point. That's nothing to me now, because I have a bunch of amazing people around me, especially my family. My mum knows what it is now. She knows how to deal with me, and she knows that down in my worst days, she knows how to help.
That's good that you have a great support network about you, Chelsea, you know, and unfortunately other people don't have that. But if you could give any advice to anybody that is feeling anxious and sort of going on the verge of depression, you know, what advice would you give to somebody?
Please talk to somebody that you trust, and there are counsellors out there that does an amazing job. And there's also Lifeline and the Samaritans, and they are fantastic. Sometimes I would have to email the Samaritans to tell them the way I'm feeling, and they will get back to me saying, is there any support at home? And I would say yes.
Do you find too, Chelsea, that maybe it's easier to talk to somebody that's not a family member, somebody that you don't know? Is it easier to talk to them?
I have a mental health supporter at the Bushmills Medical Centre, and she's fantastic. I talk to her sometimes about how I'm feeling, and she gives me a wee chart on how to manage my sleep and manage my health.
Yeah, because I suppose people don't understand that mental health affects a lot of things. You know, you talked there about sleep, so you could have insomnia, you know, and there's maybe too much going on in your head that you can't relax yourself enough to sleep. And then not getting enough sleep is not great for anybody, basically. So there's lots of things that affect you. Can you maybe give an example of an everyday task that you would do that suddenly you would feel anxious about?
There's not really a lot of tasks that make me feel anxious. It's just trying to get out and about, especially whenever COVID was lifting. I didn't want to go out the house because I've been stuck in the house for so long. And I said to myself, this is not healthy. I need to get out. So I decided to get out with my family because I felt safer. And then sometimes I would have my little brother with me, and me and him we were never close whenever we were kids, and now we are. And Alexander, my brother, is a delight.
So it's easier for you then if you're going somewhere like say to the shop, do you actually have one person with you? Would you start to feel anxious if you were walking that distance on your own?
Now I walk anywhere by myself. I can even walk from here to Alaska if I needed to.
You never know, we might ask you to do that for funding.
So what I did one day was I walked from my house up, down to get the dog, from Craigaboney Road, all the way down there to the crossroads from where the Dunluce Castle is, across from Dunluce Castle on down to Port Ballantrae, from Port Ballantrae all the way down to leave the dog off and back home again.
That's amazing, Chelsea. I bet you the dogs just love seeing you coming because they're thinking, we are going to get a really nice walk today with Chelsea.
But unfortunately, I'm no longer walking that wee dog
Oh,
because something actually happened. So the dog's rehomed now. So I still have the photos of her. She was absolutely amazing. Such a friendly dog. That was the dog that you saw at the Orange Hall that day.
oh yes.
Yes.
The tail was just going all the time and just so excited to see everybody and just wanted to get petted by everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Beautiful animals, dogs, absolutely gorgeous
Yep.
animals. So Chelsea, where do you see yourself maybe, you know, in a couple of years' time? Do you feel that you can move forward in other things? You take things slowly, day by day?
I always say, my great granddad always says to me, never rush, take one day at a time. So I took his advice and I take one day at a time because you just never know what's around the corner.
Well, that's very, very true, Chelsea. Chelsea, if that's okay with you, we'll leave it there unless there's anything else you want to discuss.
I have a beautiful wee guinea pig at home. We used to have two, but unfortunately its wee mother passed away in March.
Oh,
And guinea pigs are an amazing animal. I looked it up and what guinea pig does. They actually very, very good for people with anxiety. They actually calm your heart rate down and make that make you feel loved.
do you think then that it would be a good idea if people with anxiety and depression and that could find somewhere to go that other people could bring in, you know, like it's not an assisted dog. There's another name for them where they actually come in and let people pet them and sit with them and things. Do you think that would be a very good idea for people with anxiety?
Of course, and some schools actually does that as well. They bring in wee animals like pigs, rabbits, dogs, and wee guinea pigs and stuff. And I think it's just amazing because, especially whenever I was in school doing my exams, I was nervous. But it actually helps people to feel more happier and more at ease.
Yeah, it's tough enough now whenever you're going in to do exams. And as you say, if there's a way that can help you calm down through just having an animal near you and being able to pet an animal, touch an animal, you know, is definitely a good thing. Do you think too that maybe people should be coming into schools and teaching children about mental health and about anxiety?
Yes, I think maybe somebody that's a counsellor or maybe somebody that teaches about mental health should come into schools and teach young children, because young children doesn't know what it is either. Maybe they could feel all right one minute and then feel anxious and maybe crying out of the blue and not knowing what's going on.
And also it would give them an understanding of, you know, what to look out for, maybe, you know, in an adult, that they know that they would be able to see the signs and probably able to help.
Exactly. Because even I didn't even know what anxiety was or depression. I thought I was on top of the world, and then a bombshell just hit me, out of nowhere. I just felt alone. I felt no one really cared.
I know, and it's something, Chelsea, that is not, there's nothing out there that's a quick fix for it. It is something that you have to struggle with, I'm sure, at times, and other times you can be feeling okay, and then other times you're not feeling okay. So your advice to anybody that is feeling in this way at all, what would you say to them?
Please look after your mental health. Talk to somebody if you can, because it's okay not to be okay. And please seek advice if you need it, because there's always advice out there, people that can help you, and especially for men out there. You may feel like you're strong, but there are still people that can help.
Yeah, definitely. Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on today and speaking to us about mental health, and hopefully everybody that watches this has found comfort or advice in what you have been saying. It's been great to see you and talk to you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll be catching up with each other soon. Get a wee coffee and a bun later on.
Are you buying the buns?
Well, now that you've taught me into it, I'm going to have to, aren't I? Everybody knows now. Thank you so much, Chelsea. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you very much, Sonia.
And that's all from us today. Thank you so much, everybody who have tuned in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.